What's going on, guys? I'd like to welcome you back to our WordPress series. This particular video is number 3 in line, and we're going to be learning about content management systems. You can feel yourself getting closer to us actually being able to create that first WordPress site, which actually takes place in the next video. But for the sake of right now, we have a little bit more housekeeping to do. Just as a recap, we've gone over creating our domains. We have our web name. We have our web hosting. We understand what not WordPress, web servers are. And now we're at that pivotal time in which we are ready to create our website. There's 3 ways that we can actually create a website. Way number 1 is for us to completely make the whole thing from scratch. Personally, I know how to do this, but if I can avoid it, I will. Typically, we leave this to some of the larger corporations or individuals who are in business for themselves, or for some of those entrepreneurs who just love learning and spreading out their information to others, some of those freelancers out there. So it's a great way to learn how to code. It's wonderful if you do understand it, but it does take a bit of time. This is why we have what's called content management systems. Content management systems allow us to update all of the content within our site without having to worry about that code, which is why we're here today. As I mentioned a little bit earlier in the series, WordPress is also a great tool for us to use if we want to learn how to code. It utilizes HTML, it utilizes CSS, it also utilizes PHP, which are some of the more foundational pieces of programming that are used by almost everyone who makes websites. And we could also pay somebody to make a website for us, but we're not even going to talk about that because I'm a frugal individual and I'm a firm believer of doing things that I can do myself and not having additional amount to other individuals. That takes way too long, it's expensive, and oftentimes it's not even correct anyway. So, without further ado, let's learn about some content management systems. It is nothing more than an application that allows publishing, the editing, the modifying of content, organizing it, deleting it, as well as maintaining it from a central interface. Remember, content management systems do nothing more than allow us to update the content within our website, and then it takes that content and automatically updates our code for us. So we're not even having to worry about updating anything. Everything automatically happens on the back end. It stores all of our files and all of our information associated with our site in a structured format and displays all of the content to the users who go to our page. It is literally that simple. There are 2 pivotal parts to a content management system. The first part is the content management application. Pretty much this is going to be the dashboard. WordPress has their own dashboard called the dashboard, and this is going to be where we make all of our updates to the content of our site. We're able to update pictures, we're able to update videos, text, anything that we can possibly call content, we're able to do that through the content management application. Thing number 2 is going to be what takes that content and updates that code for us on that back end. That's what's called the content delivery application, and it compiles everything and it updates our site for us. I'm pretty sure y'all are tired of listening to my voice, but you're going to have to stick with it for a couple of more videos. But we are one slide away from creating our WordPress site. WordPress is the most famous and the most robust open source content management system. 23% of the top 10 million websites utilize WordPress, from CNN to Jay-Z's own website, and I'm pretty sure you've been to multiple other websites that utilize WordPress. For some of you bloggers out there, it's also the most popular blogging system on the web, bar none. Once again, it utilizes web templates and themes, as I'm going to show you here in a little bit, that can be updated by front-end users that requires absolutely no code, or by updating the code for some of you more ambitious individuals on the back end. Remember, it uses PHP, CSS, and HTML. I'm going to have video tutorials on these later, so make sure you stick around. It also allows the users to change the look and the functionality of the site. So it is literally a one-stop shop for maintaining everything within your website. It is honestly a great tool. So without further ado, let's go on ahead and jump right in and create that WordPress site. There's going to be a couple of things that we need, okay? Remember, as I mentioned in the last video, that after we got hooked up with our web hosting, HostGator was going to send us a link. We need that link, we need that username, and we also need that password. The link specifically gets us into the back end of our website. If you haven't done it yet, please pause the video. I know you don't want to, but go on ahead, pause the video, go into your email, find that link, make sure you save it and make sure you bookmark it, and then restart the videos and you can go on ahead and go. But in the meantime, we're going to keep it moving. This is the link to my back end of my WordPress website, or better yet, my HostGator panel. You're going to want to enter in that username right here, the password that was sent to you, or if you've updated it already, this is where you're going to put it in. And let's go on ahead and log in and see what the dashboard of our HostGator, all of our web hosting information, looks like. By default, it might look a bit overwhelming, but 9 times out of 10, you aren't going to use any of this. Well, I'll take that back. You're gonna use quite a bit of it actually, but for the majority, it's going to be those important pieces such as domain management. Management is the place in which we manage our domains. If I need to go in and purchase a new domain, if I need an add-on domain, if I need a subdomain, if I need to cancel a domain or renew one, all of that is going to take place within the domain management area. Now, the most pivotal area of this entire backend is going to be the file manager. If you remember, a website is nothing more than a series of files that are on a web server. This is where all of those files are located. And it's pretty much just like a file manager, such as Windows Explorer. If you need to take a look at some files on your computer, it's the same exact thing. We can access these files, we can go in and we can update them. However, we would naturally be updating that code. And this is what we want to avoid since we're going to be using a content management system. But just to show you the back end, let's go on ahead and click on File Manager. It automatically defaults in our top website. These are all of the websites that I host, but that I manage rather. But if you need to update one of them and take a look at all of the files on the back end of that particular site, this is where you can change it. But for the sake of right now, we're going to use our most popular one. We click on the Go button, and it takes us to our file manager. This is what the back end of our website looks like. These are all of the files that make up Seku Technologies. And once again, if I need to go in and update one, I can do that. All I have to do is click on it, and then I come up here and I click on the code editor button. Now, the main takeaway that I want to give you is you're going to want to make a copy of all of these files, because if your website ends up going down, you're going to need a backup. I also want you to be cautious with the files that you update on the back end, because if you mess up one thing, one piece of code within those files, you have potential to take down your entire website, and you do not want to do that. That would be detrimental. However, if you have a backup, then you're able to just paste all of them right back into here, and you'll be able to have access to your website once again. That's very easy to do. All you have to do is highlight all of the files that you see right here. Mine is going to be bigger than yours, I must say, but If you go on ahead and copy all of your files, don't worry about ours looking different, copy them and paste them in another place, or you can download them and you can put them on your on your actual computer. So then if you need to make some type of update or a theme's been updated, then nothing's going to be overridden. Okay? This is the file manager. Use it at your own risk. It's very important. It's very powerful. Once again, a great way to go in and update your site. However, we're going to jump back to our panel because we need to figure out the way in which we connect our WordPress to our domain. And you do that down in this area on this button that's called Quick Install. Go on ahead and click on it. It's going to take you to another website in which you're able to specify what it is that you want to download. Pretty much all this area is, it has a bunch of tools that directly connect with your web domain, and it automatically downs files and those tools and connects them to it for you. So you don't even have to do anything. None of the nitty-gritty. All of the stuff is done automatically. So if we want WordPress, we go to the search bar, we type WordPress, click on the search button, and it says, were you looking to install WordPress? I say, heck yeah. I click on yes, install WordPress. And it takes me to this section that physically allows me to install WordPress. Now, it seems kind of redundant, but I click on that button, and it takes us to this area. If you click on this drop down, this is going to display all of our websites. For you, it might only be one, but for some others, it's going to have all of them. Go on ahead and put your top level website, or the new domain rather, that you just purchased in here, the one that you want to connect WordPress to. All you are doing right now is creating that file path. So whenever we went in on the back end of HostGator and you saw all of those files that made up SecuTech, this is where you do the exact same thing. All you're saying is every single thing that I update within WordPress, I want all of those files to be managed here, and I want you to update those files that are right here. We're going to enter in an admin email. This is going to be our email for signing into the back end. We're going to put a title of our website, a username. Once again, just keep it simple. Keep this username the exact same as your HostGator one. Your first and last name, and then we're going to go on ahead and click on install. Now, I'm not going to actually install it because I don't want anything to update the websites that I already have, because that'll be detrimental. But once you do install this, it should go relatively quickly. However, if it's going slow, go on ahead, pause the video, and kick back up whenever it's done installing. Whenever you finish, you're going to see a couple of things on your screen. You're going to see a link that has your web domain with a /wp-admin. This is how you access the back end of your website. Okay? It's always going to be secutech.com /wp-admin. This is how you manage every single WordPress site that you're going to have within your possession. Okay? Also on there, you're going to see a super long password. I'm going to show you how to update this password within that dashboard because it's way too long, it's tough to remember, and it's way too much of a hassle in the first place. Okay? Once you've done this part, go on ahead, jump over to the next video because that's where we're actually going to create the website, and then we are going to go on ahead and get started. For the rest of you, feel free to go back through some of the other videos, learn, because this is what it's all about. I'm going to drop off, go eat some food, jump back over to the new video so we can go on ahead and get started. See you guys later.